I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Cody Epperson, and I'm here with some lovely co-hosts to discuss Netflix's new show, Cooked with Cannabis. First, let me just introduce my panelists. I have a cannabis newbie, Mr. Jeff Williams.
How you doing? Thank you. I'm just pumped to be part of the after show because when I heard about this show on Netflix, I was like, this is a great time for me to learn. Like you said, I'm a newbie to cannabis. I've probably started smoking weed like 2-3 years ago, but like the cooking aspect, that's really what I want to learn about. And like we're quarantined, so all I have is time. So I'm taking a lot of notes. I'm taking a lot of notes right now.
Heck yeah. And
Awesome.
then one of my favorite divas, we have our cannabis aficionado, the opposite end of the spectrum, Miss Kitty Kaboom.
What's up? Yes, once I started learning about this plant more, I've actually been to dinner parties where they are cannabis infused and reported for a number of outlets that were cannabis based. So I feel pretty well rounded, and obviously I consume it on a daily basis. So yeah, I am ready to talk all things weed, baby. Bring it on.
Nice. Oh, nice. All right. Well, first of all, you guys, happy 420.
Yes,
Like,
happy
420.
420.
Let's go.
I'm pacing myself. I've only done 10 milligrams today. Pacing myself.
I'm like nervous. I like want to get on the train and like get started, but at the same time, like we have 2 episodes and we have 4 more. And I don't like. So guys, that looks really good.
Right.
But speaking of, we're doing our first 2 episodes. The first one was Backyard Barbecue Food, and the second one was, I think they called it World Food.
Global Eats. Yeah.
Global Eats.
Yeah,
Thank
Global
you.
Eats.
Tell me your overall thoughts, guys. What do you guys think of the show so far?
Jeff?
I'll let you go,
Kitty, please. Anyone start.
Okay. Yeah, I love it. I love the setup. Coming from the TV aspect of it or the production aspect, I love the set. I think it's very cute and kind of hip. I love that they bring in different people every week to kind of give it an overall, so it's not just the same people that are, taste buds that are have a say in it all. So I love that part of it too. And I am the biggest Khalees fan. Like, I'm not a stan for her, but her body, her face, obviously her talent, and the fact that she left Nas, all that shit. I love her. And this guy Leather, he's adorable with his little lisp. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they have to say. To get more into it. I love it.
Yeah, I'm right on the same page. I love both episodes, but like my favorite part of like the whole dynamic is just how they have both extremes. They have people that know so much about cannabis and about how many milligrams, about how many they were throwing so many chemical words. And I'm like, I'm gonna look that one up. I'm gonna save that for later and stuff. But you also had like those people in the best buds that some did have taken edibles and some that haven't and everything. So it's really cool to see the different dynamic and having everybody enjoy the same meal because it added a lot of comedy to the show, which I really loved.
Definitely.
Heck yeah. Yeah, it's really fun. There's so many big personalities going on in each episode, and just they're having fun, like it's a competition, but it's not like Gordon Ramsay screaming at you to like pick up a spatula.
Right.
It's like
exactly.
Hey, we're all just having a good time, and I think that it's still a competition. There's $10,000 on the line, but it's fun. Everyone's having a good time.
And that would just drain you, right? Like if you're high and someone's yelling at you that you didn't do it right. Can you even imagine? So yeah, I think the whole process of the show, understanding that this is a mellowing component of situation, it makes it that much better because it's fun as hell and you're focused and you know that it's competition, so you have to go in, but at the same time it's like, dude, I got chill. It's a different arena.
Just to add on to that, they kind of like broke the fourth wall in the first episode with all the smoke that was happening on set. They're like, are y'all? Is it hard for you to breathe? Because it's hard for me to breathe. And then like you see them like opening the garage and the kind of the back of the back corner. So good. And then like on the second episode, there was one guy in the Best Buzz that he was new, but he kind of got too high, so he started roaming around the set. He's like,
Yes.
is this infused? And so like the breaking the fourth wall and like the comedy parts of it was just great because it's like it's real, and that's what I love about that part.
I do too.
So I wanted to ask you guys about like the competition aspect. So we have three for episode 1. We had 3 people: Amanda, Nathan, and Cynthia, and or Nate. Nate was our winner. Do you
Yes.
guys feel that that was correct? Like, do you guys feel like the judges are fair? Do you think they know what they're talking about? Like, let's get into that whole
Yeah, I feel like he was
thing.
totally deserving. I feel like Cynthia was definitely comic relief. I respected her. That she's a bit older and she curses like a sailor. Gotta love that. And she was just kind of winging it. You know what I mean? She didn't take herself too seriously, but because there's a lot of pressure, obviously. So what you were able to do in your kitchen on your time doesn't always translate into you only have this amount of time, you only have this amount of ingredients, da 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 da. So something you might have done 50 times all of a sudden becomes this new thing to you. So she kind of screwed up a little bit because I think she underestimated what it would take to make sure that it was within the time that was allotted. But I was kind of rooting for Amanda. I'm not gonna front. I love Amanda. I thought she was really like well versed. The fact that she knew so much about so many things, I just thought she was gonna kill it. But yeah, Nate was not deserving. You know what I mean? He did well too, and he was pretty cool under pressure. So I respected that.
I'm not gonna say Nate wasn't deserving because I mean everybody they're on the show, but like Amanda was my girl on this one.
Yes,
I had Amanda winning. Like I don't know why she didn't win.
I don't either.
Nate's first meal was like the broccoli there was a broccolini or something.
Yeah.
And then like
the broccoli salad.
Right,
come
like
on.
I guess.
Like Amanda was hitting with every different meal. Like
yes. And she
like
had so much behind it. She's like,
she had
yeah,
knowledge,
this is the exactly.
display, like
I
the
loved it. It
whole
was beautiful to
whole
look
package
at.
was there. So like
I agree.
I was very thrown off when they picked Nate.
Me
Not
too.
not saying that he was like totally wrong, but like I guess that pot must have hit different for a lot of people.
I agree with that. I actually Nate held it. I liked all of them. Nate held a little soft spot in my heart because he's just like SoCal stoner boy.
I know.
Like
Yes, so chill.
And like being like I'm born and raised in LA. Like all my SD friends, my LA friends, like my skater boy friends, like he just like kind of like I was like that's my boy. But but I agree though. I do think that Amanda's dishes were definitely more exciting. And Cynthia, I thought I just kind of maybe her dishes weren't the most exciting, but I thought I liked her experience. She was like, I was cooking with this back in the day, and we were using twigs and seeds, and now I'm doing all this. I was like, hell yeah, girl.
I love like even though she didn't win, I love that she still represented well because even one of the hosts, they're like, I was kind of surprised. I thought she was gonna do bad just because like she was kind of out of touch or something. I'm like, nah, that means she's been cooking longer. So she, if anything, her stuff should have hit like better than anybody else. But
ageism is real, baby. Ageism is real.
No,
she looked like a grandma. So yeah, because she's somebody's grandma does not mean she don't know how to burn. You know what I mean? Exactly. What you mean, bro? She about to kill that joint. That's exactly.
I figured
right.
she was the most experienced. I thought she was gonna come in and be like, bam, bam, bam. These kids.
Right. Yeah. Right. I think she got a little flustered, just a little flustered. But if I had my way, I agree wholeheartedly, Jeff. It would have been an Amanda show, no question.
Amanda show. And speaking of, so like it's about the weed. This kind of threw me, and it made sense. Like, how do you guys feel about the dosages of how they dose the food, and like between the THC and the CBD, and then sometimes they throw in other acronyms, and I'm like, yeah, sure, that sounds great. But like, what is like, especially if you guys were going to like a marijuana dinner, like tell me how you guys would want your dosages to be like.
I think that. Again, I've been to a couple of these and they're and I love the fact that they're like kind of hoity-toity, you know what I mean? To associate this plant with people of, highbrow is just beyond amusing to me. Because think about it, 10 years ago, you know what I mean? Your local drug dealer on the corner was not thought of as highbrow. So it's just so interesting
to see my drug dealer.
Oh my God.
Exactly. He was so nice.
He was so nice. The cannabis industry has just come full circle. And I just think it's so crazy how the paradigm has shifted. Just got to throw that out there because you know, we can't get into the laws and blah blah blah. But it's just interesting to me. Like this would not have been considered even a show back in the day. So with that being
Hmm.
said, I did absolutely love the dosages. I think it was really smart of them. And the fact that they infused CBD as well, like that hasn't been my experience. You know what I mean? The THC is the component that everybody wants, that's psychoactive, and they don't even consider the CBD. So to put that on top of it, are you kidding me? I mean, to me, THC is a cure all anyway. If I got a headache,
Hmm.
anything I smoke, I feel so much better. Like
Hmm.
physically, emotionally, I'm able to like gauge things better or whatever. I'm more intense in terms of my focus. So to have the CBD kind of come through and just be like, this is even more of a chill, but a different kind of aspect. I just think that was so smart. And I love the fact that the dosages are spread out throughout. Like he was saying, some people go hard in the first, like the appetizer, and then just kind of ride that wave with CBD throughout. But I think it's more poignant to put it in every single, you know, like 2 milligrams here, 3 milligrams there. You know, on a good day, I can still do what I got to do with a 30 milligram like edible. You know what I mean? I can do
Yeah.
30. So to know that it was only like 10 or 12, that's just a nice little like super duper buzz that just puts you in a good mood. It's not like a high overpowering thing. I thought that was smart.
Yeah. For me, like when I was watching that, I thought it was cool because it's like almost like a learning moment. They were like explaining what the THC did compared to what the CBD did and why
Yeah.
they only did like, oh, at the end of the dessert, I wanted to have more CBD compared to THC because of this, that, and third. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that was really you both hit on it. It was like the difference between like having like consistent like, oh, 4 milligrams, 4 milligrams, 4 milligrams, or starting with like 8 milligrams and progressively getting smaller, and then at the end like a lot of CBD, or like, yeah, spacing it out, or like going starting big and like chilling out, or just kind of staying at a plateau.
There was
Don't you
one that
love to? Sorry, go ahead, baby.
I'm sorry. No, I was just saying there was one that said 60 milligrams of CBD at the end, and I was like,
Right.
oh my god. But like,
No, but
like it's CBD, so like it's not
it's
gonna like
CBD.
it's not
Yeah,
gonna
no, it's
make
total
you. It's
chill.
not gonna
No,
like
no,
throw
no,
you on the
no.
ground, but like when I just saw that
Exactly.
number, I was like, oh my god, that's so much CBD.
Yeah, but it's
I
a
saw that too. I
total
was like,
different
oh.
kind of
And then I
feel.
was like, oh
It's
no, it makes sense.
right. It's a different feel altogether. I have to say that I'm pretty impressed because I've never been to a dispensary where they offered anything to be able to cook with. So I'm like, where would you even find powder, water
Yeah,
soluble powder? You know what I mean? Like,
I
let's
don't know
keep it
where
a
they're getting it
thousand.
from.
I know that there's such a machine because I looked into it where it's called like the it's called the butter maker or butter machine or something. So obviously they don't want to advertise it as like a cannabis situation because you can do it with any herb, but that's usually what people use it for. Not only is it self-cleaning, but you put the weed in along with whatever you're infusing and it
Mm.
literally like does the work for you. So I would assume that a machine like that could create this stuff, but I'm just like, I've never ever heard of a powder that has been used. Oil, obviously, tinctures, all that stuff. But I'm impressed. Like, I love the fact that they're able to infuse any damn thing and create any, you know, component to use to be able to put into the food and make it delicious and then not make it like taste like weed. That's probably the one
Hmm.
thing that you
Hmm.
don't want it to do, you know, especially obviously in the cook. And they're so gourmet. Like, everything is so highbrow. I absolutely love that. It's not like they making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, right? So these are new meals that I'm learning too. Like, I didn't think of ever piri piri or peri peri, I think is how you pronounce it. Those
Oh
lamb
yeah.
chops,
Oh
baby.
goodness.
I was like, oh, I'm
Hmm.
about to get into that. I am so about to make those.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
You
feel
know,
like I'm learning on two levels, you know?
oh yeah, you know what's funny though? I've noticed like especially in that one on the lamb chops, if you ever look in the back of the like in the backdrop, there's those other chefs just staring like, dang, he really just killed that.
I was
Yes.
noticing that too. They're like
during the
still in the
pork
back, like
chops, they,
watching.
I was like, oh my god, there's so much shade. Like, is this some reality TV? Like, what is going on? They're like, I hate him. I should have messed with his pork chops.
Exactly. He's about
When I
to
saw that, I
Because
just started
murder.
sometimes
cracking up.
sometimes
What?
like they're using eggs or something in that yolk runs, or like the one gal heard like dough didn't sell right, and
Oh
then
Hmm.
someone's
gosh,
come
yes.
in with like these lamb chops that are like glazed and crusted and like look
Right.
bomb. And I'm like, ooh, sorry, girl.
Exactly. She was over there going crazy with that it was supposed to be a bread, right? That just didn't turn out correctly. And I was just
Yeah.
like, girl, let it go, girl, because that is not about to happen. Not on this show anyway. That was
Right?
funny.
Exactly.
Hilarious.
Which brings me into we can talk about episode 2. I mean, they're very similar, but episode 2, we had some different characters. We had Brendan, Harold, and Melissa. And
Mhm.
I believe Harold won that episode. How do you guys feel about Harold winning?
Kitty, I'll let you go first.
I think that he was deserving. I enjoyed everything that Brendan put together. I liked his overall attitude about things. Yet another guy that was just super chill, and wasn't kind of like all over the place. Not that that's a bad thing either, but it kind of goes along with the weed. So it's like he probably puffed before he got started. And I'm not mad at him for that. Like whatever it takes. So yeah, I thought he did well. And his dishes looked, oh my gosh, so delish.
Yeah. I can't complain about that choice at all. I loved every dish that he gave. I love the presentation. I love him talking about it, him explaining like what he made, why he made it, why he tastes like that, and so forth. But I gotta shout out Brendan too. I like the whole backstory of like him going from San Francisco to Mexico, riding his bike, learning all the cultures from his husband, from like just being around everything. I love the story and the presentation, but I would definitely have to go with Harold.
Yeah, that whole African background, the fact that he was able to kind of combine the African sensibilities or spices or whatever with an American this or a Persian that or whatever. I know I'm grasping at straws. It was nothing Persian, but you know what I mean. He did a lot to make sure that like they were seamless, and that's always. Especially as a chef, that's really hard to do. So yeah, I'm super excited. Can I just say that I'm kind of mad at the comedians though? I was looking forward to way more laughs, and I follow Haha Davis on IG. I think he is hilarious. His catchphrase is Bucko. He's always like, I don't know, Bucko. Like that's his thing. He didn't say Bucko one time. He didn't say anything about anything. I was kind of disappointed in the comedians. I expected them to kind of add more humor to it. I mean, you're high. Let yourself go. Like, say some shit that we're going to laugh at.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I was like, I love the fact that we got to see the dude kind of roam the place in the second episode because like we didn't get a lot of comedian or jokes. Like we got like it kind of seemed forced when they were at the table. Almost.
Yes,
like it wasn't.
It
wasn't that great in the second episode because they were more like, I'm a comedian. I should try and make these hits. And the first one, it was more actors like, y'all, I'm high. Like I don't know.
Right,
like,
exactly. I don't know if I'm coming or going. Yeah,
like,
so
I might accidentally say something crazy. Like
that's okay.
And that's okay. But like that's what we got in the first episode. Second one, it was like, no, I'm a comedian. I'm high. I'm supposed to say this, that, in the third. And like, nah, I'm glad they showed a homeboy roaming around because he didn't know where he was and he was high. Like that's the stuff. We just want to see normal reactions.
He was hilarious. Not only did he bite the peach when he was roaming around, remember he grabbed a freaking eggplant.
He grabbed
and
an eggplant
bit
to bite
into that, and he was just like, "That's delicious," and put it back after it had been. Like, no, it's not actually. A raw eggplant is not delicious. I need you to have a seat, sir. Have a seat. We'll bring you some more food. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed in all that. I'm just like, haha, make us haha. What are you doing?
Make us haha. That's funny. You guys actually, thank you. That was the first topic was one of the topics was the best buds. Like, I think it's a fun idea. I just don't necessarily think they're executing it properly.
They seem more involved with the actual eating than the commentary. And there has to be a balance of both. Like, we get it, eat the food, but Haha was over there like shoveling his face and didn't say shit. And I was just so disappointed.
Maybe if it's a better mixture of people, because like maybe if there's a comedian and an actor and maybe like I saw in the previews that Nate Robinson's gonna be in. So like a basketball player. So like different backgrounds can generate different discussions and kind of bring up funnier moments. So like maybe if there's a variety, because it just seemed like it was comedians in the second episode, actors in the first one. I'm like, give us a mixture so we could see different things.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that the best buds would fare better in terms of a medley of people and a better discussion if they were full on connoisseurs. Like, what if they had everybody at the table, the special guests, like Snoop, like Wiz Khalifa, like not Kenny Rogers with the long hair. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He's been like a weed
Kenny
smoker forever. That's not his name. I don't know.
Loggins.
No, it's not a Kenny. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. But like people that have strains out already, or that
See,
are beyond what kind of discussion you
My
think
only-
that's like
my
too spot on?
That would be more or less like American Idol, in the
Yeah,
sense that like
Good point.
these are people supposed to like be enjoying it, having a discussion. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is more like the relaxed fun part. It's not like
Yeah.
they're not the criticizing people, because those are more the hosts. So it's like
That's true.
it would kind of take away from what the host's points are, or what's their meaning of being there. So like,
Mhm.
I would love a Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa judging people, but
Yeah.
like they would be the host, and that'd be all I need. I wouldn't need a lot of other people.
True. That's a very good point. And then it would be probably like not even on purpose, but like competitive edge between the best buds and the host, because they're kind of hosty-ish themselves. You're right. They would pay, but it would be still fun to hear what the hell they
Mhm.
had to say.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause I feel like that'd be more entertaining, you know?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah, it's like that difference between, because I thought this, because some of the people, not like maybe like one or two of the best buds, I had to be like, I don't know who that is.
Oh, I
And
didn't know
it's
any
like-
of them.
And it's,
Yeah.
and it's like, would it be better to have I don't know if it would necessarily be better to have like an A-list panel, especially when
Probably not.
they're actually not even part of the judging. They're just over
Yeah.
there kind of
Consuming.
making comments. They're
Mhm.
not really,
Yeah.
and they're, but then again, also though, I know like there are times when I'm high, depending on my environment, depending on if I'm vibing with my people, I will be funny and I'll say dumb things, and we'll have a
Yes.
crack up over it. But then there are other times when like, yeah, oh yeah, that, yeah.
Right, like, good point.
And like
Plus-
certain strains affect certain people differently, and
This
is very
eating it
true.
affects people differently than smoking it. So there's so many factors into the. But I guess I'm gonna just say I'm not a big fan of the best buds table dynamic, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
hopefully it'll evolve a little more better as time goes on.
You know, another
Definitely.
thing that I think they chose to do that for too, because think about it, the judges are like culinary chefs. They are
Mhm.
trained and well versed. I mean, unfortunately, I don't know anything about leather. I'll do some homework. But Khalees, I know, is not only was she trained at the Cordon, but she's been cooking since even before her formal training. She has a whole business that she's run for years and has excelled at in different countries and everything. So my point is that having the best buds there, I think the levity of it, like they want to know if the actual food is good. They're chefs, so they're going to be judging it on a whole different level. But like everyday people, will they enjoy the lamb as much as say Leather enjoys the lamb, because he's like taking different stuff from it? You know what I mean? When they asked the best buds what their favorite meal, they're like, oh yeah, the soup. But they didn't say like the leek soup mixed with the
Yeah.
potatoes and the tangy. They just like, yeah, I like that shit, you know? So I guess it's supposed to give it like some levity or whatever, just to hear what regular people think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I agree with you, because like in the first episode more than the second, when they were saying those things like, oh yeah, that soup hit, or
Right,
yeah,
right.
like, oh, that took me over the edge. It's like those are lingos like I could say, because you're like, you know, like when you're smoking or when you take an edible,
Yes.
like he's like, oh snap, let me sit down real quick. Let me
Right,
just
right,
let me
right.
get my
get
bearings
into
and
it.
everything. Like
Yeah.
that, like those are some things that like we want to see that reaction as well as the competition side.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's a nice balance.
Exactly.
Heck yeah. And then Jeff, I would like to swing it over to you and take over with a special segment. Please
Yeah.
have at it.
So the special segment for this is that hit different, and for that is like we really just talk about different things that's in the episode. So like if there's ever a moment like, whoa, that reminded me of something, then like that actually hit different. So for me, just for an example, when they first started talking about their first time, so it was on the first episode. One of the best buds were like, yeah, I've never really had edible before, so this is gonna be interesting. I remember my first time taking an edible. I didn't really know anything about weed or like about edibles specifically, so I took a whole cookie on top of drinking. I mean,
well, it probably
it just-
balanced it out though. The
Nah,
drinking. No? He's like, no,
not
that
for
wasn't my
me.
experience.
there was no balance. Let's just say my night ended quickly. Luckily I don't get the spins like everybody else, but I just got very hungry and very tired. It was like bang bang, and I was knocked out by maybe 9:30. So like, let me just put this there. It was at a frat house, and like the party doesn't even start till 11. Your boy KO'd by 9:30. So there's that.
That's
So
the
that was
best.
when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that hit a little different on me. So
I
that
love
is
it.
my segment for that hit different. What about you guys?
Am I contributing to the
Go,
hit
yeah, go
different?
at
I
it,
mean, yeah,
Kitty.
Oh,
if
okay,
you guys
my
if you
bad.
guys want to.
Tell
if
you,
guys want
like,
to.
if
No,
you have a,
definitely. Oh my God, I have a great story. So again, it wasn't just the weed when I was just doing too much. And this was way back. I don't like do pills and all that, but everybody was like doing the Xanax thing and everybody wanted it. And I was at a party and I was just like, I mean, I have nothing to do in the morning, like whatever. I know how to relegate my high. So with weed, so I was just like, whatever. So I did a half a Xanny and then I like smoked, I don't know, at least I don't know how many milligrams, but 2 blunts. And I was just over in the corner, like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit here. Cause what's happening right now is my high is such that I feel like if I stand up, I will fall over. So I just want to sit in a place where I mean I can still function and talk and whatever, but I knew that moving around physically was just not, it hit different. And
You said 2 blunts. I would have fell over after that.
no, I can do that's what I'm saying. I can the weed consumption is chill. Like I can do that all day. But once I put that little dumbass, I'm like, why did I even do this? Because everybody was just like Xanax. And I was like, am I really falling prey to this stupidity? So I don't know. That was way back, like my 20s. But the point is that it hit different, no question about it. And I was just like, thank God I'm not comatose. But I think that if I sit here, I'm gonna just ride this out. And yeah, I'm gonna take an Uber. And that'll do that.
Jeff, your story reminded me of like, because when I first started smoking, I was in college,
Mhm.
and it was the longest for a minute. Like my friends were like, "Cody, just smoke," and I was like, "No, I don't care if you guys do it, but it's not for me." And finally, they got me to do it, and so it was like this new feeling that I was so into. And because I'm in college and partying, I'd like love to get like crossfaded. Like I would like to just get drunk and then
Yep.
smoke,
Right,
and I'd be
right,
like,
I feel
"Oh,
that.
this is crazy." But then
Mhm.
after a little while of doing that, it like I started noticing the difference, and like getting CrossFit
Yeah.
didn't work for me anymore. So I remember one time I was at this party, and I were like, I'm not that I was like blacked out or anything, but I just like I was drinking, having a good time, and then my friends like passed around a blunt, and I was like, oh yeah, let me hit that, and I like had like not even like went in a circle, did it till it was done. Like I had maybe like 3 or 4 hits, and just like then all of a sudden I went from being like the life of the party to like I was sitting in a chair just like,
Right,
okay,
right.
Hate,
Like,
you
is,
hate those
uh,
moments.
I
and it's
hate
like,
those
and it was like
moments.
that moment was when I learned that I had to like find a balance.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And
no
so
Oh,
now,
question.
100%.
and so now like,
Totally.
and then as college went on, I kind of got to this like my personal cocktail was like 3 shots and like a snap, and I was like buzzed, but like then the weed gave me just that little bit of like made my
We
mind
out
think
here.
differently. So I was like,
We
now
out
it's
here,
just like a
baby.
little
We in these streets.
cynical and funny, and like that was my cocktail for a while.
I love it.
Hell yeah. That's great.
Yes, transparency, baby. Gotta do it. Gotta do it.
Yes, and
Yeah.
that is this hit different or that hit different.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
that hit different. Exactly.
And then I don't know, do we have news today or no? If that's cool if we don't.
I did not send in the news, but I have news.
Tish.
So should I share?
Oh yeah, sure.
Give
Yeah.
us the news.
Yeah, so because I'm sure, obviously, we all know we're on a shutdown, we're in a quarantine right now. So the essential things that are still open, I find it so amusing that the city has deemed, or the country, the world has deemed these things necessities. Liquor stores have never shut down, as you I'm sure know, and dispensaries are also considered essential. And I mean, for a lot of people, I'm sure, right, that's like an opportunity for them to indulge a little more than they would. So they have been some rules put in place at different dispensaries. I just read an article this morning. Again, I'm sorry, did not send it in. I'll do it. But yeah, I read an article this morning about specifically LA where we are, and just that in the dispensary, not only are they not coming from like behind the cash register anymore, they're just like, oh, it's over there. You know, they don't even come out anymore, which is fine, whatever, I'll find it. But I love the fact that they're now saying you can only, I mean, there's always a limit, right? But now in certain dispensaries in certain areas, they've limited it even more. So you can't even go in. So it's like you have to go to dispensary every damn day because you can't buy more than just like enough for, and this is not everywhere, but the dispensaries like density, you know, more in the valley, it's fine. You can just get as smacked as you want. But like, in like downtown LA, I'm finding that when I go to dispensaries in this area, they're just like, oh no, you can only buy one thing of edibles and an eighth. And I'm just like, right. I mean, I don't smoke an eighth in a day. I'm not that good. But I'm just saying like, those are the kinds of things that they started limiting. So I thought it was interesting because nobody's at the liquor store policing their consumption and saying like, you can't buy, 20 bottles of wine in one sitting. So it just goes to show that, again, that disparity between those two things, because there is still a stigma to some degree. And people think like, oh, this is a gateway drug and all that craziness that somehow and little do they know, like that isn't the thing you should be concerned about. People drinking and getting behind the wheel is a totally different thing than people smoking and getting behind the wheel. One of my favorite jokes of all time is when you get to a stop sign, a drinker blows right through it, right? You get to a stop sign, a smoker sits there for the longest time and the passenger's just like, why are we still here? Oh, I was sorry, I was waiting for the light to change. Like that, you know what I mean? That's not the same mindset. Like you're not blowing through any traffic. You're totally on the high, you're in the slow lane on the highway, just like, yeah, I'm good. You're not making any irrational choices. So I just find it so amusing that they're like, don't smoke when you're high. Are you kidding me? I'm so chill. Like, when you're high. I mean, don't drive when you're high, my bad. Yeah. Clearly, my 10 milligrams is kicking in. But yeah, that's I find that amusing that that there's this thought process that somehow, because it's accepted. So you know what I mean. Drink it up. Do what you have to do to get through this shit. But when it comes to smoking, they're just like, relax. Like you don't want to do too much. It's not heroin. I got it.
It's still so new. I mean, California's been doing it for a good minute now, but like the government like just doesn't know how to regulate it in a way that makes sense. Like, because it's so it's a little, it's kooky. It's only been a year, but I think in a few years it'll definitely chill out.
Oh, without a doubt.
Looking forward to that.
You guys, we have a few more episodes to watch, and we'll be back in a little bit. But before we go, please tell our viewers where they can find you.
Kitty, you go first.
So I'm Kitty Kaboom, KITTIEKABOOM on Instagram, and on Twitter, I'm Kitty Meow.
Yes, and if you guys want to continue the conversation with your boy, you can follow me at Jeff Williams, at Jeff Will Jr. on all your social media platforms.
Heck yeah. And I'm Cody Epperson. You can find me on Instagram at Cody Epp, CODYYEPP. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll be back in a little bit.
See you later.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.